Sige po, kung wala ay tinatawagan ko po yung special number sa gabi nito. Pastor Eddie.
Sa panalangin namin kanina ni Brother Darwin, sabi niya, sa buhay, meron tayong naisip na gusto nating marating, pero ang kalooban ng Panginoon siya pa rin yung nais na mangyayari sa buhay po natin. Kaya ang awiting ko po ay, sabi niya, sundin ang loob mo. Puso ko'y pagkapapel sa dagat ng buhay, tinatangay ng alon, walang lakas na lumaban. Kastilyo ng pangarap ko, kahit gaano man katibay, ay dagling nabubuwan sa bawat kabiguan. Puso ko'y ibong ligaw, sa hangin ang buhay. Nililimot ang ulan, wala namang pupuntahan. Lipad ng panaginip ko, kahit gaano man katayo, bumabagsak pa rin, dalay ng daming sugatan. Alam kong pinapayagan mo ako'y magpakasakit upang turuan ang puso kung paano magtiis. Paglipas ng bagyo, ang buhay ko'y muling matatahimik sa dalampasigan ng iyong pag-ibig. Ang aral mo sa aking buhay, hindi ko man maunawaan. Magtitiwala sa iyong dakilang kalooban. Kailan pa man tanging ikaw ang siyang pananaligan ko. Sundin ang loob mo, Panginoon. Puso ko'y ibong ligaw, sa hangin ng buhay. Nililimot ng ulan, wala namang pupuntahan. Lipad ng panaginip ko, kahit gaano man katayo, bumabagsak pa rin, dalay ng daming sugatan. Alam kong pinapayagan mo ako'y magpakasakit upang turuan ang puso kung paano magtiis. Paglipas ng bagyo, ang buhay ko'y muling matatahimik sa dalampasigan ng iyong pag-ibig. Ang aral mo sa aking buhay, hindi ko man maunawaan. Magtitiwala sa iyong dakilang kalooban. Kailan pa man tangi ikaw ang siyang pananaligan ko. Sundin ang loob mo, Panginoon. Pagtitibay ng karanasan, damdaming nasugatan, mapait na nakaraan, di na muling babalikan. Ang aral mo sa aking buhay, hindi ko man maunawaan. Panginoon, sundin ang loob mo, Panginoon.
Okay, good evening po sa bawat isa. Salamat po, Sir Ning, sa awitin po na yan. Actually, kanina po ay pumunta po ako rito. Yan po ay isa sa mga song na hinahanap ko sa YouTube kanina. Una-una yung ako susunod. Pangalawa yung sundin po because namimiss ko yung awit. Pero ang una kong pag-type sa YouTube, hindi ko alam po at dagilang kalooban, hindi ko tinahin ko. Tapos sinanap ko yung saan ang dagilan, hindi ko makita, tapos tinahin ko yung lyrics niya. Kanina lang po, Sir Ning. Because I want to study that sa gitara, so sana pag-aralan sa gitara. Sir Ning, pag napag-aralan na, turo ko po sa iyo. Pero meron kasi akong estudyante sa Bible School na tuturuan daw ako mag-gitara. Okay? Of course, hindi yung ABCD, alam ko na yun eh. Yung next level po, meron akong estudyante na banda po siya sa dati siyang banda. Actually, sama sa banda. Pastor na siya Pastor Benjamin. Sabi, Pastor, pag may this week, sabi niya, after this week, baka Friday, turuan kita. Yun yung gusto kong unang-unang paturo. Okay? Kasi napakagandang awit na po. And I thank the Lord na po, naging magandang awit. Actually, yung awit na yan ay napakahirap awitin. Okay? Hindi dahil mataas siya, kundi dapat pag inawit mo yan, nakikita po sa buhay po natin. And I believe na po yung awit po na yan is nakikita po sa buhay ni Pastor Ning. Kasi mahirap po sundin ang loob mo, pero box diver ka na. Okay, kailangan na nasa puso, yung ginawit mo, nakikita sa buhay mo, sa puso mo, yung ginawit mo, hindi lamang po yung boses. Okay? And tonight, let's all stand up, please. And let's open our Bible, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 4. Okay, basahin ko po ng verse 4. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Basahin ko po at habang binabasa ko, is sundin niyo po sa inyong mga mata. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. And thou shalt write them upon the post of thy house, and on thy gates. And it shall be when the Lord thy God shall have brought thee into the land which he sware to thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities which thou buildest not, and houses full of good things which thou fillest not, and wells dig which thou diggest not, vineyards and olive trees which thou plantest not, when thou shalt have eaten and be full. Verse 12, then beware lest thou forget the Lord, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from house of bondage. Thou shalt fear the Lord thy God, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name. Verse 14, ye shall not go after the gods of the people which are round about you. For the Lord thy God is a jealous God among you, lest the anger of the Lord thy God be kindled against thee, and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. Ye shall not tempt the Lord your God, as ye tempted him in Massah. Ye shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God, and his testimonies, and his statutes which he hath commanded thee. And thou shalt do that which is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest go in and possess the good land which the Lord sware to thy fathers, to cast out all thine enemies from before thee, as the Lord had spoken. Verse 20, and when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, what mean the testimonies and the statutes and the judgment which the Lord our God hath commanded you? Then thou shalt say unto thy son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, And the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And the Lord shewed signs and wonder and great and sore upon Egypt, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household before our eyes. And he brought us up from thence, that he may bring us in to give us the land which he sware to their fathers. And the Lord commanded us to do all the statutes, to fear the Lord our God, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive and at this day. And it shall be our righteousness, if we observe to do all the commandments before the Lord our God, as He commanded us. Tayo po, isindi manangin, manangin Diyos, kayong gabi nito. Kami po ay tumalapit po sa inyo that you will bless your word at patuloy, Lord, empower niyo po kami ng mga banal na Espiritu Santo, not just your speaker, but also your listeners, O God. And I pray, Lord, na bago niyo kausapin, yung mga anak niyo, I pray na ako muna po yung kausapin niyo po ngayong gabi nito. And salamat po sa inyong mga salari, upon reading your word, understand it, O God, it's a great blessing na po sa amin. But ay patuloy namin hinilin patnubay ng Holy Spirit as we study, as we pinagbubulay-bulay po namin ito. Salamat po, dahil sa matamis sa Pansus. Amen. Thank you very much po. Okay, salamat po sa Panginoon. Every Tuesday, tayo pinagkakaroon po ng prayer meeting. And I hope that you are happy tonight. Amen. Salamat po sa Panginoon Diyos. Now, gusto kong magkaroon po ng, actually, I hope may lang po yung message po natin na. And I would like to talk about dito po sa Deuteronomy chapter 6. Actually, there are two commandments na iniwan ng Panginoon. That is to fear God and to love the Lord. Okay? At sabi ng verse 2, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 2, that thou mightest fear the Lord thy God. Nakita po natin yung pagkatapos sa Panginoon. Pero sabi ng verse 5, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart. Okay? I believe one of the greatest commandment sa Bible is to love the Lord. Okay? Sa Matthew chapter 10, tingnan mo natin Matthew chapter 22, verse 34. Na makikita po natin sa Matthew chapter 22, verse 34, but when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Paano po? Because verse 33, and when the multitude heard this, they were astonished at his doctrine. And in verse 35, then one of them, which was a lawyer, there was a lawyer asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? There's one lawyer that tinanong now, which is the great commandment in the law? And verse 37, Jesus said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. Last time, napag-aralan po natin about seeking God first. God must always be the number one sa buhay po natin. Matthew chapter 10. Ang sabi po na Matthew chapter 10, hindi po nagkakamali. Verse 37, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So makikita po natin, ang pag-aralan po natin is, do we really love the Lord? Do we really love God? Okay? Mahal po ba natin yung Diyos? Okay? Gusto ko po na bawat isa po sa atin, makita natin yung halaga po na pamamahal natin sa Diyos. Because honestly speaking, there's saying po dito, makikita po natin, there are a lot of commandments, and Jesus Christ told the Pharisee that the greatest commandment is to love the Lord, because ang tinuturo ng Diyos is paano mahalin ng mga tao yung Diyos. Okay? Kaya dito sabi niya, what matters most is not whether you possess some flashy gift or not. What matters most is not how smart you are. What matters most is not how wealthy, not how popular, not how famous, not how well-liked you are. What matters most is how well you love the Lord Jesus. Okay? Alam niyo po, dito sa church, of course, there are a lot of talented Christians dito po sa simbahan po natin. Okay? Salamat po, bago po tayo magpatuloy, nakasama po natin sina Sister Pia. Okay, praise the Lord. Okay, yun po ay natutuwa, nakasama po namin kayo. Sir Pia, na-miss po namin kayo. Okay, tama po ba yung pangalan niya, Sir Pia? Amen. Nagkaling na po ako. Okay, ako po nagpapasalamat sa inyong presensya po ngayong gabi ito sa mga kasama po niya. Later on, we recognize them. Okay? So, ano po yung pinapag-aralan po natin dito para sa mga kapatid na wala pa sa sarili, wala pa sa topic. Na what matter most sa Panginoon, hindi yung talent po natin. Hindi yung gift po natin. Hindi naman yung presensya natin sa dito ngayong gabi nito. What matter most is yung pagmamahal natin sa Panginoon. And honestly, sa church po, sa maraming church, even sa maraming individual Christian, ang pinakakulang po sa kanila is yung pagmamahal po sa Panginoon. Kaya lagi natin ina-emphasize po dito, Colossians chapter 3 verse 20, in-emphasize natin ang first Sunday ng December, in-emphasize natin ang second Sunday ng December. Ano po yung pino-point out ko dito? Ang pino-point out ko dito mga kapatid, I'm not trying you, I'm not asking you na maging active tayo sa church lamang, kundi gusto natin na mahalin natin yung Panginoon. And that's the absolute reason kung bakit tayo nandito is to love the Lord. Na nakikita pa natin minsan, mali na yung mga motibo natin eh. Mali na yung mga bagay kung bakit nandito. Kaya minsan nagkakagulo-gulo tayo, minsan hindi tayo consistent, minsan wala tayong puso sa mga ginagawa, as if na paulit-ulit na lang kasi hindi natin ginagawa. Ito na may pag-ibig. But I want to tell you the reason kung bakit tayo nandito, there's no other reason because we love the Lord. Mahal po natin yung Panginoon, amen? Hindi po nalulugod yung Panginoon. Of course, we thank the Lord sa lahat po ng bagay na meron tayo sa church. We thank God na meron tayong aircon. We thank God na meron tayong magandang sound system. We thank God na meron tayong piano. We thank God na meron tayong choir. We thank God na marami tayong mga bagay dito sa church. But ano po yung pinakamahalaga sa harapan ng Diyos? Ano po ba tinitingnan ng Panginoon? Is yung pagmamahal natin sa Panginoon. That's why I believe if we have those things, we have those everything dito sa church. Pero kung hindi nakikita ng Panginoon, yung puso natin, hindi nakikita ng Diyos, yung pagmamahal natin sa Kanya, then walang kabuluhan. Tapos ko sa yung kagalingan natin dito sa church, even po ako, lagi ko inaasyo ng sarili ko, Lord, am I doing this because I love you? Di ba? We need to ask yourself, ginagawa ko ba ito dahil mahal kita o dahil? O dahil may mga nakakita lang sa akin, kaya natin ginagawa itong bagay ito. Dahil may nagpupuri lang sa akin, kaya natin ginagawa. No, you have to do this because you love the Lord. Ini-emphasize po natin yan. Even sa pagbibigay, you love because you love the Lord. Even sa pagpunta natin na maaga sa church because we love the Lord. Amen? And sabi nga natin, it's not hard for us to keep God's commandments if we love God. Kaya sabi nga po sa inyo, before Jesus Christ asked Peter to do something, he asked Peter first, if Peter, do you love me? Before God, yun naman yung mga utos, sabi ng Panginoon, meron siyang utos na binagay sa Deuteronomy chapter 6, gawin nito, gawin nito, gawin nito, gawin nito. But before God, na inutos na gawin nito, gawin nito, gawin nito, the first thing na binanggit niya is love the Lord with all thine heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. Yun po pinakaunang utos ng Panginoon. And nung sinabi ng Panginoon, keep thy statutes, keep thy testimonies, keep His testimonies, keep His commandment. Ang pinaka-bottom line po ng lahat po ng bagay na is yung pag-ibig natin sa Panginoon. And sad to say, ito'y maraming nangyari po sa lahat po ng simbahan, even sa Revelation, chapter 2, the Church of Ephesus. This is a familiar verse po sa atin. Verse 2, after the angel, verse 2, sabi ng chapter 2, verse 2, I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou cannot bear them which are evil, and thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and are not, and hast found them liars, and hast borne and hast patience, and for my name's sake hast labored, and hast not fainted. Nevertheless, sabi ng Panginoon, I have somewhat against thee, because you are here every Sunday, you are here every Tuesday. Pero sabi ng Panginoon, nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. Alam niyo po yung mag-asawa, pwede naman magsama yun kahit walang pagmamahal. May mga mag-asawa na wala nang hindi nang nagmamahalan, di ba? May mga mag-asawa na nagtitiisan na lang. May mga mag-asawa kaya sila nagsasama kasi dahil sa mga anak po nila. But it's really hard to do that. Ganun din, may mga kapatid na nandito na lang sa church dahil required sila ng pastor, dahil nahiya sila sa pastor. No. It's about how you love the Lord. Ako po, maniwala po kayo sa akin. Huwag tayong mamangha sa kagalingan ng pastor. Huwag tayong mamangha sa kagalingan ng mga kapatid. Kundi tingnan po natin kung paano minamahal ng kapatid, paano minamahal ng pastor yung Panginoon. Marami na po tayo napakinggan na magagaling na pastor. Okay? And I'm not one of them. Okay? Hindi po ako nandun. Actually, ako po ay umiiyak sa Panginoon. Every time, naranasan ko rin po yung mag-preach, and I don't really know what to preach. And there are times, ako po ay nag-aaral, walang pumapasok po sa akin, and there are times, pag nag-preach ako, naiya ako sa pasok po sa akin, and there are times, pag nag-preach ako, naiya ako sa preaching ko. Pero Lord, lagi ko sinasabi sa Panginoon, Lord, just help me to love you. That's all. I may not be, hindi man po maging sikat na preacher, hindi man tayo maging sikat na member po dito, but what God is trying to look at us is yung pagmamahal po natin sa Panginoon. Please, love the Lord. Yan po sinasabi ng Bible. Gaano po kahalaga yung pagmamahal natin sa Panginoon? Verse 5, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. Lahat na lang, mahalin yung Panginoon. Verse 6, and these words, which I commanded this day, shall be in thine heart. Hindi lamang po sabi nito, hindi lamang sa salita, kundi yung mga sinabi niya, dapat ilagay natin sa puso natin. E gaano kahalaga yan? Sabi ng verse 7, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. I need to teach these words, friend. I need to teach these words. Kay ZP, we need to teach these words sa mga anak po natin. Anong klase ituro natin? Kay ZP, kailangan mo mahalin yung Diyos. Yan po dapat ituro po na, and shall talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Ang sabi ng Bible, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as spotless between thine eyes. Ituro natin na sa mga anak natin that they need to love the Lord. And sabi ng verse 9, napakalaga, and thou shalt write them upon the posts of thine house. And sabi na, even sa mga gates po natin, we need to write that we need to love the Lord. And there's a blessing pag minahal po natin yung Panginoon. Verse 11, and houses full of good things. When we love the Lord, magkakaroon po tayo ng bahay na full of good things. Ano po yung good things na sinasabi po dito? Sabi ng Bible, except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain. Good things, that does not mean financial blessing. Because there are a lot of home, a lot of house na meron silang financial blessing, pero walang kapayapaan sa loob ng simbahan. Isa sa mga reason, because this house, hindi sila natutong magmahal sa Panginoon. But if you love the Lord, wala ka bang financial blessings, ang house mo full of good things, and one of them na good things is walang iba yung pagmamahal. Bakit po? Kasi yung pamilya, yung tatay na nagmamahal sa Diyos, yung nanay na nagmamahal sa Diyos, yung mga anak na nagmamahal sa Diyos, ang sabi po ng Bible, at sila po magkakaroon ng good things, and what's that? Yung kapayapaan sa loob po ng pamilya. Amen? At mangyayari lang yan if everybody would just learn how to love the Lord. Pero ang problema is walang tunay na pagmamahal sa loob ng simbahan. Why God asks us na sino man nagmamahal sa tatay at nanay niya more than me ay hindi magiging disciple ko. Why God tells us sino man nagmamahal sa kanyang mga anak kaysa sa akin ay hindi pwede maging disciple. Because ang gusto ng Panginoon, our first love should not be your wife, hindi po yung wife ko, hindi husband mo, hindi man naman kundi yung Diyos. Why? Because if you have learned na mahalin yung Diyos, it's easy for you na mahalin yung asawa mo at mahalin yung anak mo according sa pagmamahal na binibigay ng Panginoon. And verse 11, and houses full of good things. What a great house. This is the house that I'm praying for. Na kahit yung bahay mo hindi nakapintura, kahit yung bahay mo hindi nakatiles, basta ang mahalaga, nagmamahal kayo sa Panginoon. which thou fillest not, and well's dig, which thou diggest not. Bakit ang Panginoon gagawa niyan eh? Vineyards and olive trees which thou plantest not, when thou shalt eat them, thou shalt have eaten and be full. Nandiyan yung maraming kumakain, hindi naman nabubusog. Di ba? Verse 12, then beware, ito lang yung problema, pag pinagpala tayo naman, then beware lest thou forget the Lord, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. And another reason why we need to love God, verse 15, for the Lord thy God is jealous God among you, lest the anger of the Lord thy God be kindled against thee, and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. And I hope and pray this evening is a big question, the greatest question. Do we really love the Lord? Mahal po ba natin yung Panginoon? Are we here because we really love the Lord? Are we here or because of anything else? I hope and pray the reason kung bakit lang tayo pumupunta ng church, bakit tayo naglilingkod, is not for pastor, it's not for our fellow brothers and sisters, but because we love the Lord. I hope lahat po ng bagay na gagawin natin sa bagay dahil mahal natin yung Diyos. Magpapiano ka man, gitara ka man, magsusunod ka man, mag-MC ka, maglilinos ka man in church. Kahit maliit na bagay, magbibigay ka man. Do that thing because you love the Lord. God is not looking at the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. Nalala niyo po si David? He is small and despised. Kaya sabi ng Bible, I was small and despised. Sabi ni David, nung sila po ay pipili ng lalaban para kay Goliath, is not one of the choices. Wala, sinan si Eliab, sinan si Abinadab, and si David, hindi siya, ibig sabihin hindi siya one of the choices because wala talaga siya, hindi siya talaga pinagpipilian. Wala talaga siya magagawa against Goliath. But God said, the Lord looketh not on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. But why David? Bakit siya pinili ng Diyos? Kasi si David, meron siyang puso sa Panginoon. And he said, why? Bakit matapang po si David? Nalabanan po si God. He said, look at his principle. His principle that this battle is not mine, it's God's. The battle is the Lord's. It means, siya, nag-volunteer, ako lalaban kay David, ako lalaban kay Goliath. Pero hindi niya kinlay na it's not about what he can do. I know, alam niya sarili niya, wala siyang magagawa. It's about what God can do. And thank the Lord, for with God, nothing shall be impossible. We have a lot of limitations. But you know what? If you've learned how to love the Lord, ang Diyos mismo ang tutulong po sa inyo sa mga limitasyon po natin. It's easy for us na mahalin yung minsan. Okay? Mahal natin yung mga ibang tao, ganito, naglanap tayo ng mga bagong relationship. Tapos di natin maayos ay relationship na. But I wanna tell you, if meron kang relationship na hindi maayos-ayos, ayusin mo yung relationship mo sa Panginoon at magiging maayos yung relationship mo sa ibang tao. Totoo po yan. Kaya nga hindi maayos yung relationship natin sa tao kasi una-una, hindi maayos yung relationship natin sa Panginoon. I hope and pray this is a simple devotion, but this is just what I need and what every people need is to love the Lord and do everything na may pagmamahal. Let's all stand up, please. Tayo magkaroon ng quote invitation. The Lord is challenging us from His Word that the Bible said is love the Lord with all thy heart, with all thy mind, and with all thy soul. Wala pong iba nakakaalam, nakakita ng puso natin, kundi yung Diyos lamang. And I hope and pray that tonight, walang sawa na tayo po ay humingi ng tawas sa mga pagkukulang po natin, na walang sawa na tinitingnan po natin yung sarili nating puso at kakamali. This is what King David said, search me, O God, and know my heart. And this is the right time to search your heart if you really love the Lord. Maybe you are here tonight, Lord, forgive me for everything that I've done na ginawa ko na walang pagmamahal. But thank you for your reminder that everything that we're going to do is help me to do it with love. Pwede ko ba tayo lumapit sa oras ko dito? Bible said, 1 John 4:19, the reason kung bakit lang natin natunan mahalin yung Panginoon, because He first loved us. Amen. Pwede ko ba tayo lumapit sa oras ito? Amen. Praise the Lord. Lord, tulungan niyo ako na mahalin ko kayo. Hindi ko kayo nakikita, but I pray that you would help me to love you. Help me to do everything dahil mahal ko po kayo. Sana, huwag natin hayaan na mawala yung pagmamahal ko natin sa Panginoon. Let's commit ourselves tonight. Amen. Salamat po sa mga pagkikita namin. Just love the Lord. Yan yung kulang sa atin. And there are a lot of things na hindi maintindihan po sa church. Bakit natin ginagawa ito? Bakit natin ginagawa? Then you just understand. Pag natuto ka ng pagmahal sa Panginoon. Amen. Let's pray to God. Talk to God tonight. God, forgive us sa mga ginagawa natin na walang pagmamahal. Amen. Dakilang Diyos, ngayong gabing ito kami po ay papasalamat sa pagtuturo niyo po sa amin. And Lord, patawarin niyo po kami sa lahat po ng pagkukulang po namin sa inyo. Minsan, nakakalimutan po namin yung dahilan kung bakit po kami nandito. Lord, minsan nawawala na po yung pag-ibig po namin sa inyo. That's why, Lord, I pray na every time na kami po ay naghina, every time na lumalayo po kami sa inyong kalooban, there's one thing that we need to check is if we still doing it with love of God and for your glory. That's why I believe if we're doing everything with love, ay gagawin po namin lahat po na makakaya po namin para paglingkuran kayo. Salamat po. Sana hindi lamang po kami masabi, mabanggit na nandito po kami. Naging aktibo sa church. I pray that you will help us to do everything with love, even po outside the church. Tulungan niyo po kami na pakamahalin po kayo sa anumang bagay. Tulungan niyo po kami na pakamahalin po kayo sa kaninumang tao. Salamat po. Salamat din po dahil sa pagmamahal niyo po sa amin for giving us your son. Salamat po na namatay po sa krus ng Kalbaryo. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you very much po. You may now please be seated. We'll be having 5 minutes silent prayer. And after that, isilid ko po kayo sa general prayer para po sa church.